we've got to talk about the whole, thing with one of the other queens from season 2. Can we talk about that?
We can talk about it, but I'll probably only talk to you about it today. Anybody else who wants to know, they'll have to book a separate interview.
Hi babes, it's me, Tia Kofi, and welcome to Attitude Tea Time in association with Taimi, where each week I'll be bringing you the freshly brewed tea on Drag Race UK Series 3 with the latest eliminee. And this week I am joined by my Series 2 sister and real-life BFF, Veronica Green. Veronica, how are you doing?
I'm doing okay, thanks. Yeah, not too bad at all.
I just want to point out, this lash and all this smudge down here is because I watched the episode while I was getting ready, and I somehow managed to cry out of one eye, not both.
You held it in. I think I've got like maybe a little eye infection or something, because this is really swollen. I've tried to disguise it with makeup as much as I possibly can, but I'm weeping too. But not because I'm sad, because I'm diseased in my eye, I think.
Oh my God, maybe it's the man that Teresa met in the tent.
That's what it is. I got second-hand eye jizz.
You look like a gorgeous bad Sandy as well. I love it.
Tell me about it, stud.
Oh my goodness. Veronica, I've got loads of questions that the team at Attitude have thought and put together, but we're friends, so I'm just going to chat to you, to be honest. Sorry, everyone.
Sounds good to me. I might even have a cup of tea while we're talking.
Oh my God, do it. So, Veronica, first things first. Shag, marry, kill. No. No? Too soon.
Let's kill you know who.
How are you feeling? Are you okay? Are you happy?
Yeah, I feel all right, actually. I watched the episode alone at home because I was not sure how I was going to feel about it. I didn't want to do a viewing party because I could have reacted really badly. But watching it, I had a little cry, but for the most part, I just felt this massive weight just releasing from me. All of the pressure, all of the expectation to succeed, and all of the anxiety. It just finally left my body. What I've realised at the end of this 18-month journey is that it's just the start. I've gone now from I've gone from performing in little tiny pubs and clubs where sometimes I've performed to 2 people. That's the lowest audience members I've ever had. I'm now to a worldwide audience. The world is my stage, and this show has given me opportunities like singing to 10,000 people at Manchester Pride, along with you and the Vivian and Shania Payne. So what this show can do for you, whether you win, lose or draw, it is phenomenal and life-changing, and I will always be forever grateful for what they've given to me.
Oh, so inspirational, Veronica. Speaking of win, lose or draw, let's talk about the lip sync. Now, I've watched it back, and I shouldn't express an opinion, but I do think it was a very good lip sync.
Thank you.
I do think it was quite a close lip sync.
It was very close. It was very close.
Do you think the right person went home? Controversial, brave question.
Oh, no. Well, so my whole thinking behind it was, okay, Victoria's gone, and there's an open spot in the competition. There's still 10 episodes, that much is true. And there's now not enough queens to fill the episode quota. So I thought, surely there's the possibility for a double Shantae at some point. They've done it before. So my whole goal going into this was to give everything. I wanted to give everything to the lip sync. And I knew that Vanity was a phenomenal performer and an amazing lip syncer. And we both performed to an amazing standard, and I thought it was deserving of us both staying. I'm surprised that they showed her messing up the words so much, if I'm completely honest, because if Ru's going to choose somebody over somebody else, it's hard because you can't get into Ru's head. You can't explain why she made her decision, but she did, and I respect it. And you know, Vanity did deserve to stay. She's got a lot more to give, a lot more to show. But so did I. I just felt as though they could have, after everything I've been through, that maybe they could have let me stay.
I think it was really inspiring, this episode, that you actually spoke about what you went through in that first lockdown. Personally, I totally empathize with that, because it was such a difficult time, especially that we had that massive break in production. And you've spoken quite openly about the fact that you basically had to go back into season 3 with no money, no time to get dragged together, nothing like that. What was it like? How did this experience compare to your experience on season 2?
Well, my experience on season 2 was cut so short. You and I both know that I had the most amazing 9 days of filming of my life. You had a bit of trauma, but I was loving every single second that I could soak up on that set. And when the pandemic hit and stopped production, it just changed my life forever. I was on this sort of very slow downward spiral that was just getting worse and worse and worse. I had no work. Everything was closed. Performers couldn't perform. I couldn't even get a retail job. I was on the verge of bankruptcy. I couldn't even begin to think about improving my looks for season 2. So as devastating as it was to catch COVID, I just thought to myself, well, maybe it's a blessing in disguise, because everybody's going to go back with these amazing runways and this glow up. And what have I done with my time? You know, because people ask that. People say, oh, well, what have you done in your time? You did nothing. Yeah, because I was depressed. I was in when I say I was nearly bankrupt, I literally mean I could not afford to put food on my table. My fiance Steve had to support me, because I had nothing else. I had nothing, and I feel like there's a big disconnect, because reality TV is not reality. People watch reality TV to escape and to get involved in the fantasy, and for me, I couldn't not be honest about that. I had to be honest, because what else am I going to say? I can't bullshit people and say, oh yeah, I got up to this, that and the other during lockdown, and then come back to the show looking like I looked. It doesn't make sense. I'm not delusional. I'm very honest and open, and mental health struggles is nothing to be ashamed of. It's something that people should talk about more of, because it's something that we all have at moments in our life, some stronger than others, and if I can just connect with people, and because I felt so alone, and if I could just reach out through the medium of television to let people know that they're not alone, even when they feel it, that was the goal for me, of being truthful and honest.
And I'm so grateful that you did as well, because that's one thing, as you said, that comes out from the show that people will watch and be like, oh, you had a 7-month break. Why have you come back dressed as an ice cream cone? Because I couldn't afford to eat, because I got out of a relationship of 4 years, because I literally had the worst lockdown ever. So please stop asking me that question. I'm so grateful that you had that conversation, just from a personal standpoint. And yeah, don't attack people for their drag.
No, but that's the thing. There is this narrative that you don't need money to do drag. And that is true. You don't need money to do drag, but you do need money to do Drag Race. And that's because of what the fandom has created. And I feel like it's there are some queens who go into this show knowing full well they're going to be the best thing on the runway, because that's what they do. And then there's others of us that are performers and that do other things. And everybody lumps us all into the same boat when it comes to the runway category. Some of us don't do runway looks. That's not our type of drag. And the fact that everybody expects us to come out looking like $1 million, some of us come from very, very hard working class backgrounds. And what that means in this country is we literally can barely afford to pay our rent. And I'm not the only one. I know that there's so many other queens that we do drag for the art. We do it for the passion, for the love, for the gender expression, for the politicism. We don't do it to look expensive. I can do pretty, I can, but that's not why I do drag. and I feel like Drag Race is skewing towards this elitism. I understand it's the Olympics of drag. I understand it's a competition, but when you've got queens that are so creative and so passionate, they're being priced out of being able to even walk through the workroom doors because of the way they look. Like, really, appearances seem to count for an awful lot. I was relying on my personality. I was relying on my charisma, my uniqueness, my nerve, and my talent, not my wallet. We've
got to talk about the whole, thing with one of the other queens from season 2. Can we talk about that?
We can talk about it, but I'll probably only talk to you about it today. Anybody else who wants to know, they'll have to book a separate interview.
Well, I've got a scripted question, so this is not me bringing this up. This is the team at Attitude, blame them. There was a little video clip of one of our season 2 sisters, Ahura, mentioning a little incident that took place where she said some unkind things about you. And has she apologized? Have you forgiven her?
So Ahura has reached out to me privately. I ignored it and then left the season 2 WhatsApp chat.
Babe, you're not the only one who's left now, don't worry.
No, the timing's not right. The timing's not right. When I feel ready, I will talk. I'll talk to her and we can have a proper chat about it and talk about it. Because when it comes to that video, I'm not bothered whether somebody likes me or not. I spent my teenage years desperate for the cool people to like me, and it turned different people against me. So, like, whoever you're trying to please in life, there's another camp, another tribe that hate you. So you cannot please everyone. And people are free to say whatever they like about me behind my back, because people's opinions of me is none of my business. So I don't actually hold that against her. It's not nice to listen to when you're being tagged in it by 1,000,001 people. But she can say that, and that's her right to have that opinion of me. What I had the problem with was the spoiler. She spoiled to the world that I was an early out on the season, and I just feel like that's a bridge too far. It's a bit of a step too far. I just think it was a bit of a low blow, and I mean, we all say things that are mistakes. I'm sure I'll be doing a notes app apology, at some point to somebody, because I'm not a perfect person either. But yeah, that's. I mean, we'll talk. I'm sure we'll talk about it at some point. It's something that is not resolved yet. No, it's not. But I couldn't speak about what I was bothered about because I'm under contract and couldn't say anything until I was eliminated. I couldn't even say that then. I was like, oh my god. So yeah, we will talk at some point, but I'm not ready for that yet.
Okay. And speaking of notes up apologies, I'd like to request a notes up apology for the leotard that you wore in episode 2 when you were doing the rehearsals for Dragathon. It's very revealing.
Well, I'm sorry that I have the body of an angel. I'm sorry that I'm the talk of the town whenever I do anything on that show.
Final question, Veronica, because you did leave us hanging in the episode. Do you like group activity? Do you?
The answer is no.
I thought you were just going to leave the Zoom call. Veronica, it's been so good to catch up with you, and I'm just really proud of you. I'm really, really happy that you are content with everything that you did on the show, because honestly, you are incredible. Thanks for watching Attitude Tea Time in association with Taimi. Don't forget to hit like and subscribe, and join me again next week where I'll be serving some more scalding hot tea from Drag Race UK Series 3. Bye, babes.